questionable, and if CE continue to go down the exact same route and pick Garrosh again, this is a bad map for him. And again, exactly the same win rate for these two teams.
Yeah, both teams with mixed results up to this point, but Sky Temple, we saw that yesterday when Soa started off the entire series on Sky Temple against their opponents, against TheOne. It looked to me like TheOne were running past Soa all the time, trying to get into a team fight, but Soa just kiting and basically running away from them all the time, eventually out-retaining them, eventually outplaying them with all those temples consistently hammering on TheOne's base. So if they were watching the series of yesterday very closely, then they will know how to play against TheOne on this map, and they will know what they're susceptible to.
Hanzo banned out by CE. Like I said, they might know what is susceptible. We do know that TheOne are good at Hanzo via the games yesterday, and of course the last game, TheOne not taking the risks that their ex-opponent Soa did, and they're going to ban out Maiev. And I'm going to be honest, I was looking at the Maiev there, my screen's pretty big. When I saw those Christmas lights on Malfurion's forehead, my immediate reaction was, oh, red, blue, green, Lost Viking. Oh, as I turned to face it, but it is Malfurion.
Tetra, I can't remember if we've ever seen the Lost Vikings in HGC China.
I will find out for you as we have a look at the next part of the draft. It is Tyrael and Greymane. Very solid pickup here at this particular point.
It seems to me like the Lost Vikings are defying everything that China stands for. Gathering 5 heroes, waiting in a bush sometimes, and look for a team fight. But the Lost Vikings, of course, always is a special hero. In fact, I haven't really seen them appear as often in other regions either, when there used to be teams like Team Liquid who would use them very, very regularly.
Indeed. So, not this season, at minimum, I have found out. Let's have a look at previous seasons. Not in the Eastern Clash, the last one of those. It definitely wasn't at BlizzCon, I remember that much, and it wasn't at Gold Club. Yeah. So let's go to the last season of HGC China.
Yeah, the Vikings definitely not a common sight in China, at least. For now, though, we see another Malfurion picked relatively early, and Cassia, for the same reason as Tracer sometimes, is just a perfect addition to the Malfurion. She's very resilient to heroes like Greymane already, and if you then have that consistent health regen, that consistent healing coming in from Malf, she's going to become nigh unkillable. However, there's another reason why I like this Cassia already, because it is a lethal special. They stick to the guns that they know are working this time. No more cheeky Garrosh picks. No more wild drafts and talent picks at that point as well. I mean, you don't get to see a Pale Horse on Malthael every day.
No, or throwing shade on Malthael every day, even when he's still in the solo lane. So, super cool to see. The answer, by the way, yes. The first season that we cast, when E-Star were in it. It was played by Super Perfect Team on Warhead Junction, and it lost. So, there we go. Vikings have been played.
That was a long time ago, if you think about it, Tetra.
Really
We've been doing this for quite some time now.
I mean, I worked out that I have been playing Heroes of the Storm since Technical Alpha for just under a fifth of my lifespan.
Which is a good fifth of your time to be spent on.
Yeah, it was really cool, but it was quite the existential crisis for about 12 seconds before I went into a Hero League game. As we do see, Falstad was banned out, pretty solid hero in general, and Genji removing that from Meng, solid ban by CE.
Okay, the Falstad, we've seen all of his efficiency yesterday. Soa in particular made the Birdman shine like he had never been gone, because Falstad is like one of those submarine heroes. He comes up every now and then he vanishes completely out of the meta, and then he comes up again. So depending, of course, what the rest of the meta includes. In the double support meta, he wasn't really a part of any game, because him as a hyper carry, you know, it just didn't have the punch to it.
Jaina is picked up here, was banned out of the last game, so CE let it go this time. And I don't know about you, I would much rather face a Jaina than a Genji, but Jaina is still very scary, and with the protection from Uther for that Greymane, their burst potential is very high.
Yeah, the thing about Jaina also is that, just like any other mage, she's extremely good against Cassia, so for TheOne going, let's say, for a Greymane and a Hanzo there, although Hanzo was banned, but even that would have been a little bit, you know, riskier against the Cassia, I presume. Even a Tracer at this point, probably not going to get the same value as a Jaina. So the more ability poke, the more ability damage you have, the more you can punish a Cassia that is a little bit out of position. And Cassias tend to get a little more out of position compared to other ranged auto attackers because of her short range of her basic attacks.
And a way to deal with that short range, take someone at much longer range so that you can at least give it some damage on the back, give some poke damage in. That is going to be via the Li Ming. The other way, have incredibly frontline heavy tanks to give at least a little bit of a buffer for the Cassia.
Yeah.
ETC and Blaze filling that in perfectly.
Wouldn't even surprise me if we saw a Thunderstroke build there by Alufal as well, providing her with much more poke than if she went Charge Strikes, auto attack focused. Li Ming now is a little bit is quite interesting there as well. I think on Sky Temple she's an excellent pick compared to maps, let's say like Tomb of the Spider Queen or Infernal Shrines, where her wave clear isn't really as good as the one of, let's say, a Gul'dan or a Jaina. On Sky Temple, however, she can't really be intercepted by that many PvE targets as well, only the Temple Guardians, if you will. She's also really good as a preemptive follow-up here, as a follow-up to, let's say, the ETC or the Blaze engages.
And of course, Wave of Force is one of the few assassin-based boss control tools.
Very true.
And with Tyrael already taken by the one, they needed something for themselves. So we respond with a very solid front line, someone to absorb those hits, but they don't feel confident enough to go into an Anub'arak, for example, versus that Cassia, or to counter the Li Ming. Counter is such a strong word, actually, when Li Ming is involved in the Anub'arak. So they pick Muradin, the safe choice, I will argue.
Yeah, Muradin, very safe. I mean, he was pummeled a little bit in that last game, but always for the greater good. When he died, his teammates made sure that it was worth the effort.
Yeah. The sacrificial lamb for the greater good, as Muradin being picked up again, still has a Tyrael with him, so the same tank lineup this time for the one. Pretty solid. With Hanzo removed though, they are relying on different assassins. Let's see if Jaina is going to be able to live up to the Shimada hype.
Now, Tetcher, if you take a look at CE's draft and you compare it to the one that we just previously saw, are you happy with how they adjusted? Are you happy with how they've normalized?
Yes, this is a more standard draft. It's not too cheeky. It's still playing to a lot of their strengths. I feel good about this draft of CE.
Yeah, very happy about the Blaze in particular. A much more solid solo laner. He really seems to fit Zuyu's aggressive playstyle way more as well. Malphite looked a little bit unforgiving when you went for the wrong time to make an engage. He just got shut down and punished really hard. On left-hand side, we see the team that has been losing game number 2 now, CE with Alufal on the Cassia, Wind on ETC, KTY is on Li Ming, 365 on Malfurion, and Zuyu plays Blaze.
And on the right, it is the one with Hugo on Tyrael, Lucky on Jaina, Meng on Greymane, Zado on Uther, and Hihi is playing on the Muradin.
Alright, it would be so huge for the one if they were able to carry that momentum even further and take a lead in that series. And let's be frank here, not even our Chinese expert predicted the one to win this series. So it would be a huge upset. It would actually be their greatest achievement for sure.
Except for Genshuo, because Genshuo, I think it's because he's far enough behind in points, he realizes he won't win the prediction race unless he makes different picks.
He'd been doing it the entire time. He was the only one rooting for Soa yesterday when they played BTG, but he got away with it, and as such got valuable points, so much damage on Hihi.
Fend good, yo, but not enough to kill off Muradin this early in the game, as Li Ming will be the one rotating down to the bot lane. Mage War in the bottom lane.
Yeah, we also see the lingering chill at level 1 here for the Jaina, which of course allows her to stack up her Ice Block quest a little bit more efficiently because she has, it's much more forgiving to miss spells right now, if you will.
Both teams continue to rotate round. Malfurion ETC, not well known for their fastest wave clear, as Jaina returns to the bot lane. You're going to see a little bit of a poke war between the two mages, but neither of them is probably going to hit each other, honestly. They're both... Oh, I take that back. Jaina did just get hit by some magic missiles by the look of the health bar. As Wind, 365, and Alufal, with the help of Li Ming from below, going to be able to kill this off pretty quickly.
Yeah, actually we see a different strategy here coming in from both teams. The one are prioritizing the Night Camp above the siege chance, while at the same time Lucky is using stutter stepping to the max here to really do those siege giants on the other hand as well. In the meantime, that takes him a lot. That takes him quite a long time here, and these blue siege giants coming in from CE are probably going to hit the enemy base first, potentially doing some damage to the towers and the gate.
Lightning Fury was doing a little bit of damage there to help out with this. And we did already mention it, the Thunderstroke is going to be so useful when kiting these heroes from the one. And I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see the Grounding Spear, the slowdown as well, to basically make himself into a pseudo Jaina when it comes to kiting enemy heroes.
Alright, Hugo scouting the perimeter, trying to keep the enemy heroes at bay here, and you can really see how sometimes timing your mercenaries a little bit later is going to give you more value after all, because with the help of your own towers, you can clear the opposing mercenaries and minions like there was no tomorrow, and then your freed mercenaries can then take some value in return.
Meng easily getting out of there. ETC didn't look like he had any intention of power side to get any point, but Meng still positioned himself like he needed to juke just to be safe, and that's the sign of a good player. Always prepared to prevent yourself from dying. Lucky though, took a lot of damage, very low on mana, but now he has his teammates here. Was thinking about porting. That was not a B step. He was actually thinking about porting, but it looked like his team might have wanted to go in, but now he is able to go back and grab himself some mana.
Yeah, and that is really, really needed here. If you are a mana-hungry hero like Jaina and you don't go back, you don't have the ability to take a healing fountain, and you still decide to go for an objective fight, you're doing it wrong. Even if it means you're going to be a little too late to the fight, a little too late to the party, the voice communications can be used to let your allies know. And the same goes for supports, most importantly. Like, there's nothing worse than a support that is low or completely out of mana and still trying to decide and fight for an objective.
Nice orb onto Meng, immediately healed out by Zado though, but once again keep an eye on Zado's health bar. That is going to be a big decider in this fight, but it looks like the one have decided that mid is not the lane for them. The top lane is so hot right now, and they're going to try and deal with that. Looking for Zuyu, going after him. Hugo trying to body block, but that Pyromania making it just too tanky.
Yeah, almost there. They were able to get the kill on Zuyu. The Muradin Stormbolt, unfortunately, not landing. That could have been the nail in the coffin for Blaze. But other than that, I think CE have already been doing a great job securing most of the shots in the middle, and while also not neglecting the soak on the bottom lane. And there's a little bit of a consolation prize here for the one. They still get the final shots at top at least.
Blaze cooking the minions in the top lane as quick as he can. Adrenaline Stim pack of value along with those Incinerator Gauntlets. Wind gets engaged on by KTY. Looks, sorry, not KTY, by Meng there, and looks for a kill from it. Blaze trying to get Hiki, but a lovely dwarf toss to get out of range.
Yeah, even the Hand of Freedom was used there by Uther, trying to keep him safe and sound. Well done here, and both teams are really keen on landing those engages, on trying to get those team fights rolling. But in the nature of Sky Temple, it is usually more important to go for mercenary camps. It's usually more important to go for the objective than just brawling blindly all game long. And as such, as a result, after 5 minutes almost for an HGC China game, it is outrageous that there are no kills happening just yet.
But what else is seriously outrageous is the fact that CE have managed to get themselves almost a full level lead in a match with no kills and no forts down. It's all due to towers, all due to really solid rotations with the XP soak. Very, very impressive as they hit level 9.
Level 9 it is. The Red Siege Giants are getting destroyed before they can even get any value done. And now CE are posturing up, they're sieging up hard because they realize that the more damage they inflict here, the better their chances are going to be for the second temple phase. Muradin going a little bit deep, getting rooted, getting pummeled there as well by the combined efforts of CE, but he is one tanky dwarf.
Zuyu continuing to rotate around. KTY healed back up by Malfurion due to him taking a blizzard a little bit earlier on. As Heroics are now here for CE, this is their moment to immediately commit to bot lane. Fountain taken down. They're just about to run out of minions, otherwise they would almost certainly attempt to try for that fort as well.
Yeah, definitely true. However, getting that fountain is almost as good as getting the fort itself, because it will mean that the one has now a much harder time defending. Probably they're not even going to try it out at all, because they realize, without level 10, without the ability to go back and heal and come back later, we're not even going to try, and we're going to try our best to soak mid and top and bounce out the disadvantage that is currently hurting us.
Top bot fort is taken down. The Bruiser Cab in the top lane, though, will relieve at least some of the pressure. And if they can kill Zuyu, that would be clutch here. Bunker is used to try and teleport himself forward.
Nice.
Then Pyromania to tank his way through with the armor. But it's not enough. Water Elemental for the slows. That's going to be enough. And now with that Bruiser Cab, they can get a huge counter push going.
Yeah, I mean, CE on the flip side is getting 3 keeps most likely in 1 temple go. That is valued to the max. But as you said, at least the one at least can get maybe 1 fort in return here. They kill Malfurion here, as it seems he's completely caught out of position. A big mistake by 365. Bad rotation, bad movement pathing, and as such, a fort and 2 heroes dead is quite huge for the one. They could even continue to destroy the tower line now.
Good job by Hehe there, being the scout for his team that saw that Malfurion, followed by a wall of pings saying, please kill this. And they were able to execute it nicely. These double mage mercenaries helping them push through this. That spell shield is huge here as they begin looking for the tier 2s. Good start onto Muradin. Can they finish the job? Root did not land. He's marching through here. And Hehe able to move back to his team. Had to pop Avatar for this though.
Yeah, quite a lot of cooldowns were used here, as you saw the Water Elemental being summoned, and also Muradin turning himself into an Avatar, and only Tranquility on the side of CE. So the defense was successful, but look at what the One have done here. Transforming that 1.5 level disadvantage into almost equal experience right now. Of course, there's still a little bit of catching up to be done in terms of raw structure value, but it is a good start for the One to stabilize and come back.
They begin clearing, CE begin clearing up mercenaries. Like you said, the One, they've managed to give themselves a big boost in XP and are now very close behind CE. So the One in a decent position here. They still have Divine Shield, Sanctification, and go for the throat up with Water Elemental returning shortly, while Tranquility is still down for quite a while here.
Now, how are CE going to play this? Are they willing to risk a team fight, potentially losing it and losing their early game advantage? Beautiful Dwarf Toss trying to cut the flight path of Zuyu. Hey, here comes the Stormbolt. Water Elemental could be here. And Zuyu realizes he can run, so he needs to fight.
They turn it round. Divine Shield is used on Jada here. Bunker is down. Nice little juggling of the aggro there. You can see Wind being very careful with his juggling to avoid the accidental double R press. But everyone's able to disengage. And I think you might be behind me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm a little bit behind you. Let's see. I am currently sitting at 12 seconds.
I am still at 11. I think that's reasonable.
It'll do for now.
Yeah, we'll see if we can resync in between the games. For now, Hehe rotating down to the bot lane, looking for a nice cheeky temple. See if he can take some good shots there, and should be able to. Only person nearby is HGC, and he has enough reinforcements that they will be able to hold that pretty well. Jaina not there for them though. Jaina busy clearing mid lane at the moment.
Yeah, so it looks like both teams are splitting temples. Of course, that will always help CE a little bit more, because while the One still have to punch through all those forts, they're actually giving up the middle there as well, trying to go for the fight in the bottom, but then retreating at the last moment. So this is a little bit of indecisiveness that we've seen yesterday as well by the One when they played on this map against Soa.
And the One are playing that little bit of safety here, looking for their opportunity to make their way back into this. With 16 on the way, creeping in here for CE. They are just trying to creep towards a victory here. No boss attempt by either team so far. CE actually had a small window of opportunity when they had level 10 and their opponents didn't, to sort of get that and the temple and just push bot that way. But safe plays seem to be the name of the game, but now Holy Ground is on the board. It becomes much more difficult for CE to ever make that call.
Exactly. We have to give a lot of credit to CE, by the way, especially Wind and KTY for always scouting where the enemy opponents could be coming from here. Wind needs to be careful. If he gets caught in that boss stun, that could be a dead cow. The boss is still hammering against CE. They need to get a little bit of distance between themselves.
Wind is getting so zoned here, so much patience here. As you see him dancing out, Sank is expired as Tyrael, the only one caught in it, cleansed, not giving him enough time to get out. But Hugo tagging through, and Li Ming dies because she teleported into the blizzard. As Zado dodging the boss stun here. The boss tornado, though, completely trolling the One. As Meng is focused, but he kills BTC. The damage too much. Whoa, Meng, that was deep.
Hugo and Meng, they're all so low, and they still decide to fight against the boss. Malfurion is left, Cassia as well. Can they get one cheeky kill, perhaps? That's all they really need.
They don't know. They don't know it's happening. They dodge it out. The troll tornado didn't happen, and that was beautiful. So keep an eye on the Li Ming here. You see the water elemental, the blizzard is dropped. Li Ming looks for an opportunity to drop the damage. That's a beautiful hit teleports forward to try and drop the final damage and gets deleted by a blizzard. Malfurion not able to heal that in time.
Yeah, that was all Jaina there, dealing so much damage in that narrow choke point with a blizzard. As you said, CE was so close to getting a kill there, but in the end, that last tiny weeny bit of damage just simply wasn't there. And although they still have a healthy lead in terms of structural damage, they're starting to lose ground more and more in those team fights. The bunker micro was well done indeed, but the Jaina was just patiently waiting for them to step out and drop her spells accordingly.
The Uther positioning also was super good. He did very nearly die to the boss, to be fair, but he also was able to drop that clutch Divine Shield, preventing the one other person in the mosh pit from actually getting, well, moshed. He even did cleanse Tyrael. It was actually Tyrael's own fault that he didn't walk out the mosh pit because he wanted to try and stutter step out.
Alright, now once again we have a deja vu moment. Double mercenaries are marching towards the top lane. 16 against 16. The temple still occupied by Muradin. If CE realizes that one core team member is missing by TheOne, they could maybe try to go for an engage.
We see CE. Can they make that call? Do they have that knowledge? Now they can see shots coming in, they would know, but TheOne are already pulling back.
Yeah.
CE focusing instead on keeping their keep alive. Sustain is the name of the game. They can keep the keeps alive. There are no catapults, so that they will have a lot less pressure on them. Final shots taken, and TheOne continue to control the map mostly, but they're sort of out of objectives to kill, and that's Siege Giant Cap in the bot lane getting value. So instead TheOne, they find that they make their own objective, and that objective's name is Blaze.
Yep, Zuyu in the top lane. Camera. Oh, nope.
Chinese Observer.
Not today.
Minimap is your friend. As we do see the Cassia also not in the best of positions. Alufal wrapping around, trying to use the Malfurion route, but he able to dance around it. Here comes Hugo as well, and Alufal, his armor pretty helpful.
The Holy Ground!
But the stun and the Holy Ground too good, and Alufal will get taken out.
Tyrael says no. No escapes for Cassia this time around. The Storm Bolts are good as well. One more Holy Ground could mean the end of 365. Here it comes. Bravely takes a bite of Malfurion.
And they get ETC as well. Holy Ground, such a good ability, trapping everyone away from the base, leaving the only survivor. And she is so lucky there's no boss up.
And look at what they're doing. TheOne immediately realizing that throughout the history of this game, they were always able to get double mercenaries in the top lane. They already destroyed the tower lane there, so that's exactly where they're going to apply the pressure now with a mighty minion wave following suit here. Still 3 members dead. Muradin could actually face tank that in my opinion, because only KTY and Zuyu are probably not going to be enough to kill him. Hugo shutting down Zuyu. He's getting surrounded so he can't escape the bunker.
Down he goes. Jade is not even here. They don't need her to get this, as the keep will go down here very easily. The ball lightning to try and buy some time, try and drop some damage. But this is a 4 versus 4, as I said, remember, due to Jade having to rotate bot lane to clear up the Siege Giants.
Yeah, and from now on, the 2 temples will decide, most likely will decide the fate of CE in this game. If TheOne manages to get the majority of shots in from both ones, then they're definitely going to get 2 keeps in the near future. However, the positioning is actually good for CE because they're so far separated from each other. If it had been the middle temple and the top temple, for example, it would have been way more difficult for them to defend against the 20 onslaught.
And CE, they actually are able to take a keep there, thanks to that temple in the bot lane, and they immediately leave.
Yep. They can get another one if, well, looks like we have a pause request. But if they take the bottom temple even more, if they realize that Muradin is actually in the top lane, taking shots there, they can get the middle keep too, Tetcher, because it was already weakened earlier.
They really can. So we'll see if CE are able to commit to that. But for now, they don't have 20. They simply just took the shots and left. Got right out of there because they don't want to fight TheOne yet. It would be so risky to do so.
Exactly. If they don't have clear vision on what's going on in top lane, they need to back the hell out of there because level 20 would make a huge difference in those team fights. By the way, I took the time to refresh my browser and I'm now sitting at 9 seconds.
Oh, blimey. I shall too attempt to refresh my browser. Let's see what I can do to join you on that low latency. Nope, that's worse.
Sometimes what really helps is just clicking F5 and just refreshing it this way instead of pausing.
That might help. I've got 10. It's better when I'm behind you as opposed to ahead of you anyway, so 10 will do.
Cool. Cool stuff, cool stuff.
Hurrah! For those who don't know, we cast from a clean feed, so this is how we have to sync it up via the Twitch delay system, the delay to broadcast.
Yeah, unfortunately we're not live in the Chinese studios, although that would be a dream come true, because, let's face it, man, China's got the sickest production and the sickest studio out of all HGC.
Does seem pretty beastly.
Come at
Although I
me,
will say, the LA studio is really nice.
It is really nice. It is really nice. But the fact that you have a live audience, I think, just gives the whole thing a different vibe to it.
Yeah, I'll say that. I like both systems. Like, I like being able to. I love mid-season brawls and events like that and the live audience stuff. But I do also like a sort of just very isolated studio, like when we were in in Leicester for Nexus games, or when we were doing or when we've been in the studio before, or when we've been to international events together in general, or the Chaos TV one. I'm trying to remember. That must have been
a long time ago, wasn't it?
That was last year, I think. It was the Chaos TV one I did. That was a good one. That was basically like a music recording studio that had been converted into like a gaming studio. So the casting was like done from couches. That was really quite comfortable, just with like the headset mics.
Yeah, and of course, for the upcoming mid-season brawl in the summer, we're probably going to have a similar studio environment again if they decide to repeat the format of last year, which by many was considered to be the best quality format and the best quality tournament we've had all year long.
I agree. Starting off in the DreamHack Studios in the wonderful Stockholm, Sweden, before moving to Jönköping for the DreamHack Summer. I don't know if that's going to be the same this year, but if it is, then I'm going to be pretty happy about it, because that was a really cool setup for it.
I think I double-checked it on the website, heroesofthestorm.com/esports, a few days ago, and for the mid-season brawl, it says location Stockholm. So I think the chance of that happening are very high, and we're looking forward to it as much as you guys are, because mid-season brawl is going to be hype AF. That's for sure.
It is going to be hype AF indeed. So I'm pretty sure there is going to be like same locations via the hints via how it appears to be set up so far, with Western Clash once again being in Katowice and Eastern Clash being in Taiwan. So yeah, I think it's going to be the same format as last year, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and it's cool to see that they basically took the information and the feedback from the mid-season brawl in China and just basically completed the whole league system as a result. So for those of you who are new to HGC China, the entire season was played in a best-of-2 double round robin system, just like it was the case for mid-season brawl group stage last year. And it's really cool to see all those draws, making a difference in how the teams are advancing.
Yeah, so here's the question while we wait for the game to be restarted. Because these are the two tournaments that everyone hyped up the three tournaments everyone hyped up quite a bit. What was your favorite out of mid-season brawl, Gold Club World Championship, and BlizzCon? You were live at BlizzCon, so I expect there's going to be a little bit of bias there.
So I think there's pros and cons to every tournament, obviously.
Yeah.
And I would say from a viewer's point of view, from a viewer's point of experience, it has to be BlizzCon, because the atmosphere there, the volume, the crowd going crazy is just second to none. From a viewer's point of view online, it had to be GCWC, quite honestly, because I love those fancy caster outfits.
Those were pretty beast. I did enjoy that quite a bit as well. I mean, I'm obviously going to be quite biased to mid-season brawl, so that's going to be pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome as well. Gold Club was very, very fun in general, but I'm leaning towards BlizzCon as well. When you have a dedicated Blizzard crowd, you're going to have a good time.
Exactly. There's always a guarantee that there's going to be a full house, basically. And I think last year's BlizzCon was probably the fullest one I've ever seen. No matter if you went to watch Heroes of the Storm, Hearthstone, even the World of Warcraft arena, it was packed with people, and they were so passionate about their respective games. I remember when I was watching some of the World of Warcraft arena esports tournament, there was a huge replica, a huge miniature, if you will, of... I don't remember what the battle was, but there was a Warcraft battle. I think it was the Battle of Lordaeron.
That's cool.
Between the Horde and the Alliance, and they replicated it with the exact amount of soldiers. So there were like 50,000 little dudes standing there.
Like a little diorama?
Like a diorama, exactly.
That's cool. Well, either way, we're back into game. We'll discuss more tournaments that we liked later, because we are enjoying this one right now. As CE continue to rotate around, looking for the opportunity to soak themselves to 20, as they are currently a level and a half away from it. Whereas the One fake shots onto bottom temp, onto the bottom keep there, which no longer has structures protecting it, begins to tick down.
Yeah, really well rotated, by the way, by the One. They realized that if they give up the bottom temple just like that, they would lose another keep in the middle. As a result, CE had to dodge and run away because they were not level 20, and they're trying to get a little bit of value from the top temple. Uh-oh, he's here to make a play.
Good face smell, buys time, stun onto Li Ming. She might be able to teleport away here. So much CC, Alufal gets deleted. Win gets nothing in the mosh pit. And the One are gonna crush it once again. Zuyu in full retreat, but he's retreating towards a keep that is already a little low, and they could push straight past it here. This might be the attempt. Zuyu trying to bunker, but holy ground is
Wait a minute, what?
Furion. Zuyu goes down, and he commits. Down goes the keep as well. Slight delay of 365's deaths with the ice block, but the One, they're looking to end the game, and they should be able to do it.
Well, that escalated quickly, and the One are putting the nail in the coffin. They're not even trying to go for that temple in the top lane. They're ending it as it is, taking the lead in the series 2-1. And can we just give a major shout out to Hehe, using the increased range of his Dwarf Tusk, by the way. That's exactly the talent he went for at 16 to nail down target after target. And CE are shattered.
They are